Welcome back. Welcome back. My name is Jacob. This is the Lux Saga live stream. I'm here with Mickey. Mickey, how you doing today?
Hello, what's up, guys?
What is up? And today, some crazy news came out that we were expecting to be possibly not beat, but it did beat for the GDP there, and we ended up rallying early on, and then we just collapsed after that. But so far, we are very red in the market. Dow Jones down 100 points, S&P 500 down 30 points, and then NASDAQ down 162 points, hitting new lows once again. Man, let's just hop into the news, though, really quick. Let me make sure I can even get this up for you guys. Sorry about that. Boom, here we go. As you can see here, core durable goods came out at 830 with a beat, right? PCE prices ended up missing barely, but that wasn't as important as the GDP for quarter three. Quarter over quarter, we were up with 4.9% versus predicted of 4.3%. So why aren't we up today? Well, pre-market we had a nice little rally, but you know, I'm assuming it's just interest rates in the fear of them being increased. So as well as jobless claims did miss, but only by 2,000, so it wasn't that much of a change on that. Natural gas came out at 1030. Have a lovely pump on natural gas that I missed a trade because of the trade of 8 being down, but pending home sales was also up this month as well. So decent news come out this morning, but we're still bearish, and that's why you can never fully trust that news to drive it back unless something the overall economy is showing some improvement, which you would think with GDP being increased as much as it did, which is, it's not too much, only 0.6% from last quarter, but I don't know. We're not really fully in control of where the market goes. We just trade alongside it. But Mickey, you got any other news updates you want to talk about?
No, I think I truly believe we're in correction territory right now. We just need a reset.
Seems to be a pretty easy correction. Nothing too crazy. Hopefully nothing bigger than that. We want to go even lower. But if we jump back over to the charts, of course, we can now look at I'm going to pull up mine at first here, then Mickey's going to help us go over some NQ as well. Now, we are noticing, if you guys haven't noticed today, these freaking these news articles popping up in the bottom left-hand corner, absolutely driving us crazy. Mickey so happened to discover how to get rid of them, and you just right-click, go to settings, go to events, and then news notification on chart. I'm going to take off latest too, just in case. But that way it gets rid of that annoying pop-up, unless you like that news. I personally don't. So you can easily get rid of that annoying pop-up there. But starting off, somebody said do gold first, and I honestly want to do gold first because we talked about this. Let's jump over to my single chart here. We talked about this on Tuesday. It was Tuesday. And it had the breakout that we were looking for. Remember, we said watch this bull flag. Watch the bull flag break. We got that bull flag break, and we went up, and we almost retested that high. Obviously, we retraced today, but that bull flag ended up actually acting as a perfect little trade for what we went over on Tuesday. Of course, if you would have taken, that actually confirmed break on the 4-hour and had your stop below the swing low, so far you would have hit roughly around $15 on that, which is a pretty big move. If you're trading one contract on the futures, that would be $1,500 on just one lot. But overall, lovely little setup so far. We're continuing on gold 4-hour to bounce off of this Neocloud, which is recently has been the talk of one of my favorite strategies that we're also going to go over today here shortly. I wanted to see if I had my daily order blocks up. I should. Yeah, they're up there. So currently, no daily order block on the 4-hour in range other than to the upside above 2K, which is what we said. I have an alert there set for that 2,000 break. I really do think we could get the 2,000 break out of here so long as we hold this bull flag and hold this Neocloud that we've bounced off already today. So we'll potentially see a nice continuation into that 2000 range. I'm hoping by tomorrow. If not, maybe when we open back up on Sunday, we can maybe see that push. But we just need to hold these highs. The biggest thing is holding that high there, and the Neocloud, of course. But since we already tested a Neo, I'd rather hold above this resistance that we had to ensure that we have that continuation. So nice little setup there on gold for a potential continuation. If we go to the lower time frame, you can already see that 15-minute bounce off the 1 hour order block, which is in white. Those are the 1 hours. 15-minute is in green, and then 4 hour are yellow order blocks. But came back down, bounced off that, showed a higher low. And what do you see here on a 15-minute chart? You see a inverse head and shoulders. For those of you that do trade, I'm just now identifying it, but look at the head and then the two shoulders. So this is something that, I didn't notice because I don't really normally look at the 15, but there you go. There's your inverse head and shoulders that did form. So that is a very strong bullish setup on a lower time frame here on gold. So for now, you do have a little bit of upside potentially to continue. You are running into a little bit of resistance at the moment, which if we were to just mark off here, clearly acted as resistance before, and it also acted as support here. So I wouldn't be surprised if you had some type of reaction off this current level. But for now, in my opinion, you target, the next level, the next high, unless you set a lower high off of that. So very nice little setup here. And welcome. Once again, we are back. Just looking over the chat. I wonder if Jacob will cover the Neocloud. You know it. Ever since I've been using it, it's been great. We're today up another 300. Yesterday, we're up 500 as well. We've had one red day. And it's been great. So I'm going to talk about it. If it works, I'm going to talk about it because I want you guys to be able to use it too, right? I wish we had a beautiful trade on NatGas that I didn't get to take because of the trade rate being down, which was very, very annoying. But Benji said he's ready for those Bumblebee order blocks, man. Bumblebee candles and order blocks.
I got your Bumblebee.
Right. Do you want to look at gold there? I see you have it up. It's up to you if you want to look at it.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm just trying to figure this out here.
Oh, yeah, you're good. We'll hop over to ES for a second while you do that, and then he's going to look over gold for us as we show you that we are inside of a daily order block on the ES 4 hour. Ding, ding, ding. Let the bells ring if you trade futures. This is exactly what we look for our first setup of a reversal, being inside one of those daily order blocks. Higher time frame, always good. Always good to see those order blocks get formed and retested, right? So essentially, we want a little ping pong action in here before we rally back up. We want that ping pong action to occur on a lower time frame, and then we might look for a bounce and a retest of that previous break of structure level right here, because guess what? That was the previous low. Normally, if you set a lower high, it's normally close to that previous low that was set. Now, of course, as well, if this were potentially our swing point, right? If we drew a Fibonacci, you could see that around the 3.8 to 50% level is going to hit that. In my opinion, we want to probably touch the center of that order block before we see some type of reversal. But for now, very bearish, especially after breaking this previous supply here. So broke down that previous supply after it got completely liquidated on this rally. Broke through it. Now we are in the thick of it. This is a thick volume level. So we'll see how price reacts to this. But again, no reason to fight the trade. You don't want to just sit here and try to buy bottoms as much as you can. That's not going to help you. We want to wait and see what actually price tells us before taking any longs at these lows. But do you have it set up now, Mickey?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
All right, Mickey's going to go over gold as well to let us know, and then I'm going to touch on Bitcoin next there for you, Ben, and then we'll touch on some others as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure my Bumblebee colors are nice and bright for everyone here. But we have gold on the 4 hour. I will go over my settings and the number of price action concepts indicators I have at a later point in time. But I want to go over a trade that we needed trade management with. Okay, we just got to follow the rules here. let me display the charting timeframes order blocks, okay, which are the 4-hour order blocks, okay? And I will go over the rules of this concept later in the stream, but in general, I want to trade when price exits an order block or rejection from an order block. Okay, yeah, bumblebee block. I have 4-hour order blocks here, and I also like to overlay a higher time frame order block, such as the daily order blocks, on my 4-hour chart. So here's the daily, right? Let me disable the 4-hour. These are the daily, okay? So the daily looks like it's overlapping the 4-hour order block, okay? 4-hour, the order blocks are the gray tones. So let me turn them both on. Okay, so what is my rule here? Price is exiting an order block. Okay, so there's my setup, right? Let's enlarge this for a little bit. Well, Mickey, it didn't go too far. You're absolutely right, right? But this was the setup you take. Do or die, you take it. And the key to the game is trade management, right? So once this bar breaks to the upside, we bring it down to a lower time frame. My lower time frame is
Welcome back, Christina.
Minute chart. Let's head over to the 15-minute. Okay, here's the 15-minute. Let me take away those arrows. Okay, here's the 15-minute. Oh, let me draw the box here, because these order blocks have been mitigated on a 15-minute chart. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and explain that mitigation, but for all intents and purposes, I am going to draw the order block, and I'll show you right there, okay? And I have it set to global, so all my drawings will migrate to all my gold charts, okay? So that is the daily order blocks and the 4-hour order blocks. Okay, so here we have it. All right, here's the 15-minute. Here's where it broke out. We're not looking at this breakout, so once the 4-hour chart breaks out, it will be in this area, okay? So how do I enter? I turn on my favorite tool from Price Action Concepts. It is under Style. Here's the inputs. Here's the style. I turn on the highs and lows, the internal highs and lows. I call them pivot fractals, okay?
Apex, if you stick around, we could go over that indicator later for you if you want.
Okay. Let me disable the watermark here. Okay. I want to see a pivot fractal going to the upside, meaning these fractals. Okay. Market structure going to the upside. This was it. Okay. When this formed, it formed right in this area. It's not going to form at the bar, right? The indicator does not know this is going to be a high or low until market structure completes. So it formed at this area. Okay. What you could do is set a limit order at this order block, or you can enter once the higher low prints and you're breaking out of this higher time frame order block. Let's measure the move. Maximum move. Not too shabby, over 500, right? 500 ticks. But that's not realistic. 500. Okay, we're not going to catch the top. You know, we are not gods of charts, right? So what is the exit? The exit is when I see an indicator flip against me, okay? Which could be this. When this prints the higher high, a pivot fractal printing against the direction that I'm going. So when did this print? That printed somewhere in there. Okay. Which is approximately the same area that this 15-minute order block printed. That is the clue to get out of Dodge. Okay. Let's measure that. So this is a more realistic trade. Okay. 300. Okay. So this is all about trade management. Usually this concept, you're going to scalp for larger targets. But on this move, it gave us a much smaller target. And that's why we stress trade management. You can't bag hold. I mean, if you bag hold and you're just praying that it's going to go up, yeah, I mean, it could. Then again, it might not. Look, are you willing to ride it all the way down and take it all the way back up? You know, back to break even? That's stressful, right? Just, just cut your losses and trade another day, right? But I'll send this back to Jacob and his Scalping Neocloud.
We're going to go to Bitcoin, though,
yeah,
for our boy Ben here. Look at that weekly chart. Yeah. NG cranking. Benji, I freaking missed the entry on it because trade rate was down. I'm upset.
All excuses.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding on the missing the entry because trade rate was down, but I'm not that mad about it. Okay. First off, we do have the this is a weekly chart. So obviously weekly chart can give us a bigger, broader overview of what's going on in Bitcoin. We just had a recent bullish break of structure. I need to take off whichever one is still. Why are these still up here? Get off of there. Get off of there, market structures. We don't want to see all of you. We don't want to see.
Your colors are popping.
Yeah, hold up. Watch out. Let me see here. I'm gonna save this layout now, so I don't have to worry about this ever again. Hold on. Okay. Boom. Saved it. All right. Bitcoin. I turned on breaker blocks for this specific time frame on the weekly because I don't have weekly order blocks usually up. But we are retesting the last point in which we had that support break. So after we broke this, had that change of character, we had a very bearish few weeks there to go and retest the 20,000 level. Now, we are breaking out of a bearish Neocloud. We'll see if we get a continuation, but we're retesting a breaker block at this very moment. This is the first time we've retested this breaker block since it broke back in May of 22. So at this current moment, being inside this breaker block, we want to get out of it. So 37K would be that level to look for to get out of that breaker block. It makes very good sense because notice all the volume and support that this was previously. So this technically you could consider was previously demand that now could have turned into supply. We don't really know that until we get a full reaction to this level. So I would say between 34 and 37K, you're going to be looking for potential rejects at this moment. And as you can already see, if we bring it down to like a 4-hour, we're having some struggle here right at 35,000. So at the moment, though, and there you go, you can see it even on the 4-hour order blocks here, we have a breaker block sitting here telling us that, this could be a level of resistance. So breaking in this case over 35, $300 would be ideal for this to continue, but because of this massive rally that we just had, so long as we can hold this Neocloud, which is around 33,200, 33,300, I think we could continue. But again, this is a lot of imbalances were formed on this massive move we had. But of course, this is Bitcoin, so Bitcoin tends to move with these massive volume. So this was what's crazy is Signals and Overlays had that 3 AI signal, which is my favorite signal out of all of them, into this massive move that we had earlier. So far, you can notice the candles are still bullish. So as long as this price level holds, I think we could continue. But again, this is Bitcoin. So what's normally going to happen is after these, big spike volume moves, you get a decent amount of consolidation before it decides where it needs to go again. Or if you have, some update on, the current market or whatever, people waiting for the next news to push it even higher. So in this current time, I would say definitely have a potential retrace to like 33K, but we were talking about that weekly time frame. And saying that, this is a pretty key level here. There's a reason this is rejecting. So waiting to see. We got 3 days left on this weekly candle. Let's see how this week closes. And then it could potentially have its next leg up. What is the 3AI signal? 3AI signal is the strongest of signals. Is one of the strongest. There's 4 signals in the AI classifier and the Lux Algo signals and overlays indicator. I have it all of them showing, but I sometimes only do 3 signals, which I can filter by just hitting 3 there, and I would only get 3 signals. But the 3, in my opinion, has occurred more often and also is just a very strong trend continuation signal. So getting that there and it just setting up and going, and if you would have just held through the green candles, you would still be holding, which is pretty insane. So nice little move there that it had off of just that, which is pretty awesome. UNFI, we could potentially look at here in a sec. But let's take it back to, my goodness, nat gas. Still cranking. So today, currently, for those of you that are here for the Neocloud strategy, which I know some of you are from the Discord in the futures chat, today we're up to $300 on the challenge account. We are at, as you can see up here, 52,225. So we're about a little less than $800 away from passing the funded challenge. And it has only been, if we look at our performance center here, let's go to the reports actually. I think it's just this month because it hasn't been a few days. It's only been, what day did we start? Since the 19th. So it's only been 5 days since we've been doing this. So $2,200 in 5 days is not too shabby. Now, obviously, if we were funded already, we would increase our risk. But for now, because we were just on the 50K account, our goal is to hit that 3,000. Hopefully by tomorrow. Now, of course, we're just going to go with what the trades are given. So if the trade doesn't, give us $800, or today, if we don't have another $300 trade or so, then we won't, take it. So we're not trying to rush anything. But so far, very well for what it's going on. And actually, I want to go back to that report because I just want to see overall this month. I had that one bad day, but it ended up being barely red. Lucky me. So yeah, we've been 78% profitable on the winning side. Our largest loser was $312. Largest winner was $280. So I mean, not too bad. So long as that consistency is there, you can be pretty solid. But we've had our best run up was 22.50. Well, actually, that's not actually. That's on the profit side. But yeah, 19 trades took to get here. So not too bad, and we will continue to do that so long as it works, right? We want to see how long this works. If it can pass a funded, then we know that it's going to be working.
Dang, look at that graph.
So we're looking pretty solid so far. We'll see if we can continue. We would actually, like I said earlier, for those of you, again, that are here for this, we would actually have had a trade on nat gas that we wanted to take. And it was on this setup right here. We wanted to take a long off here, but guess what? The trade of 8 was down, which was really annoying. But we would have ended up taking. I would have gone for about around $300 for that breakout. But at this very moment, my goodness, this thing would have hit now $1,000 on one of those contracts, which is pretty insane. So sometimes I wish I would hold them longer, but I know that, not every time is going to have a clean enough breakout like this. So I'd rather be consistent, take multiple trades with that consistency than worry about, hitting $1,000 trade, because, at the end of the day, it's about consistency. It's not about, bouncing back and forth on, a single account going in and out of profit. I just want to be consistently profitable. That's all that we want over here. So, yeah, so a good example on that. And I wish Tradeovate was linking to, they had that maintenance issue this morning. So TradingView links are bad today. But for those of you that did have issues today, it was only on the simulated account. So if you did have a live account with real money in it, it was not affected. I was able to log into my live account earlier today, so it was not affected during that time, which was pretty awesome. I was able to like flatten positions if I needed to. Here's a good example, though. Here you go. We had a trade on ES this morning. So the strategy, of course, for those of you that are asking and that have wanted me to go over it on stream all week, essentially is we want to see a Neocloud flip. And then we want to see that Neocloud get broken, and then we want to trade the candle that closes on the outside of the Neocloud, depending on what direction. So this would be bearish, right? Now, this is a scalping strategy. So we're not looking for anything crazy. If you were in the chat this morning, I said I always target the recent low. So I targeted this recent low. Now, normally I target the candle body opens and closes just to be safe, right? Because, again, it's about the consistency. So once I take the entry, my first initial stop is going to be above that swing high. But if I get a second candle close down like that, I immediately just move my stop, usually probably above that recent candle swing high, because we're going for a scalp, right? So that first initial candle that gets printed, we want to move our stop accordingly. Now, if for some reason it gets bought back up, I'll just leave my stop up there. But majority of the time, the candle after we've noticed is usually the same direction. So we've tested this low and we hit it just fine. So that first initial stop loss, yes, for those of you that might be saying, you know, oh, that risk reward's really bad. Well, again, it's the first. It's just based off of the first initial candle. So once this candle is printed, then we move that stop all the way down. And because it's a scalping strategy, that risk is very limited to hitting your stop loss on that first candle. So you're going to adjust that first candle accordingly. But again, the results speak for themselves. I'm not going to fight it. This is a newer strategy as well. So if it, in the long run it fails, it fails. We just adjust accordingly. But for now, it's up, you know, $2,200 in 5 days. So I'm not complaining. But that was on ES. ES, I will say, on ES and NQ, I have not liked it as much. I've taken a ton of trades on the gold futures, and I wish I could, let me see, I might be able to. As you can see, a lot of times it's gold down here at the bottom. You can see it's CL, CL, gold, CL, 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 nat gas. We had a YM trade. We had CL, CLC. A lot of times it's been on gold or crude oil, because they tend to, I don't know, the strategy works better on this, and it tends to trend better rather than having these volatility spikes, which could really damage, you know, a shorter stop like that. So we might, at the end of this, if we start seeing more failed trades when we get ES and NQ setups, forget it. Like, let's just trade crude oil and gold futures. It doesn't really matter. Do you ever use this strat on the 1 minute for spot? We have been looking at other time frames. Today, actually on the 1 minute, if we went back and looked at it, it looked like it did pretty good. We were saying possibly to use it on the 5 minute. The 5 minute has been showing some really strong setups. The NQ today on the 5 minute had a beautiful setup. So here you go. This is exactly what we look for. So if you guys, you know, strategy, it flips, breaks, we take entry at candle low. If you would have hit this swing high and you would have said, you know, let's target the 2-to-1, well, guess what? You would have hit 2-to-1. For those of you that like those, you know, straight up risk to rewards, would hit 2-to-1. Broke the high, broke the low. In my opinion, I would have just targeted this low. We would have hit it within, you know, 10 minutes. Really quick scalp. Not to worry about this low breaking. Our odds of that low breaking are much higher than than it retesting. So retest is going to hit a lot more of the time than it breaking. So if you would have held it though, maybe on the 5 minute, this is why I say it's still new. So on the 5 minute, this thing could be really successful. As you can see today, great job. And yesterday it actually had a similar, here you go. This was yesterday. 5 minute setup. Broke the high, broke the low. here, actually would have ended up getting stopped at that high there. But again, if you would have taken it one more time, you would have waited and just repositioned yourself, gone for, I don't know, 2 to 1. It would have hit, but ended up hitting 2.5 to 1 on that one. So this one actually did trigger that stop, and that's why I said about NQ and ES being that volatility could end up doing those quick stop hunts, which is why I've, seen more setups on CL and gold. So maybe it would be only worth doing that. But for now, we're just trading what's given so we understand what are the best ones to trade on what time frame. If we were to look at the 1 minute on ES as well, let's see. Ryan said 1 minute doesn't work. Let's see. Why not? So we did have, let's see, open was right here. I like to wait till a little bit after open. We did have the switch here, switch back and forth, switched here, boom, right there. Right here, you would have taken your trade. So that didn't fully close under. But we could look here, short position. Would have taken it right here. Would have started our stop there. Targeted this low. We would have hit it shortly after. But again, remember, once we have this candle close here, I usually take my stop, put it right above the candle I entered on's low. So you have your 1.131 there, but it would have been on ES here, would have been 4 points. So there you go on that same break there. Didn't occur here because it didn't break back up. We would have had one trade today. So there's another one I'm looking at too, where possibly entering when it enters a Neocloud and then breaks out, because it tends, if it barely taps a Neocloud, it tends to actually react pretty well, as you can see here. So that could be another potential thing, but again, like I've said a million times already, it's new. So I mean, we're just going with what we know that works right now. So it's okay for the candle to break above and close above that Neocloud. Yes, it is. It can, as long as the Neocloud doesn't change. What we do want to see though is we want to see a Neocloud that is a thicker Neocloud. So as you can see here, this one was a pretty thick Neocloud. Wasn't as thick as it can get, as you can see here. But notice back here how thin this Neo is, right? This is very thin Neo. Now, obviously, this is pre-market. I don't normally take pre-market. I have taken a few trades past 9 a.m. So like 9 a.m. I could consider the open. Obviously 9:30 is open, but I have taken a trade before, right before, if the setup was thin enough. But I'm pretty sure it was on crude oil or it was on gold. But yes, it can break above. Doesn't have to just wick it. Can break above it. But again, the other thing was we want to make sure it's the first. The other thing I like to mention is you can get multiple setups, but the ideal setup is that first retest of the Neo with the breakout. So the first is always going to be the better one, right? That's with anything. First reject of the order block, going to be your best setup, especially on like a higher time frame. But I do like it on the 3 minute right now. That's what's generated the $2,200. But again, we're going to find out more as we continue to trade it. But if this thing, like I said, every time I like to test a strategy, I put it up against a prop firm. So this is Top Step. I put it up against Top Step, see how it does. If it passes, then I know that it could potentially be a really good strategy, and then I start forming better ways to trade it, right? Because like also what I said was it's good to look at, have the oscillator matrix alongside it as well. I look at that a lot. Where is the oscillator sitting, right? In this case, oscillator was sitting kind of low. Notice we had this big leg up here, right? If it were to sit this high and we had a turning point that high, then we could have potentially taken an even better entry up here. But notice that Neo wasn't very bullish there, or wasn't very bearish there. But like on the NQ today, let's see where the oscillator is sitting on a 5 minute at this point. So here you go. Right here, this is beautiful. This is why I really liked this one actually earlier. Notice the Neo sitting above the 50 level. Sorry. Notice the oscillator sitting above the 50 level. And it had a turning point. These are beautiful swing points indicating a trend, right? So that trade would have been absolutely insane for a, even a 2-to-1 on this, because it was showing if you would have waited until it extended, well, here's your extended point that hit right here, would have been on this candle here. So you would have had a nice little setup as it broke back below that Neocloud. So that is just another way to filter out Maybe bigger trades is potential, but again, I'm just sticking to what has worked for now. Until it fails, then I will, I'll look to change it. But I'm going to stick to this one strategy. And that's what another thing to note for those of you that are newer as well is find a strategy that works for you and stick to it. The more you flip around on strategies is the more you're going to even fail twice as much. Trust me, I've been trading for 7 years and I've jumped around probably 200 strategies and I didn't become profitable until probably my 6th year. Like it took forever, and everybody has a different time frame on when they become profitable. I know somebody that became profitable in like 6 months because he had a good risk tolerance. I don't. I honestly shouldn't be a trader, but it's so addicting and it's so fun to do that I'm really going to work as hard as I can to find the easiest strategy for myself and my risk type, and so I can actually be a profitable trader. But I have to understand how I go about risk, and that is the only way that I know that it'll work for me. It's like if I come in here and blindly enter, I'm gonna fail because I'm gonna FOMO. I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, this could be a good entry because it's at support or it's at demand. No, I have to have something like an indicator. And some people, they say indicators aren't great, they don't use indicators. Well, I have to have that for my risk tolerance. I have to have something to tell me this is your entry, these are your steps. And if I don't follow those steps, I fail. Like I said that one day, I have a losing day because I didn't follow the steps. Every other day was profitable. Every other day I've had was profitable. I had one losing day because I didn't follow the steps because I accidentally traded on a practice account. I literally traded on a practice account and I hit profit. And I was like, gosh, it's like, why didn't I look at what account I was on before I did that? And then, I went into my actual the funded challenge account for the 100 and that one red day I had here. I had a $300 losing trade because I was like, I need to try to hit this on this account. And that's so stupid. Why would I do that? Well, that's what you have to learn about yourself is what is it going to take to prevent you from doing that? And for me, it's having those 3 steps in this strategy. It's breaking that Neocloud, making sure it's bearish, having a clean break underneath it. That's your entry. I stick to it, and it's worked. And that's it. If I don't stick to that, I know it's not going to work. So for now, in this strategy, that's the only way that the strategy works for me. But you need to understand if you keep failing, you keep buying trading accounts or keep buying prop firm accounts, you need to understand your risk. And you need to understand what your risk tolerance is in a whatever strategy that you want to do. Do you need something that's step by step, or are you able to identify things and be okay with how much risk you're taking at whatever level you're trading or however you're trading? So that's my rant for the day, but it's been pretty awesome to find something that works for me personally. And there's another strategy that I'm also working on that I've been working on for 6 months that has finally made me a decently profitable trader. And then after you find that strategy, then you can scale properly. You can scale up and start making like really good money. So it's all about discovering what really works. And the prop firm accounts, for those of you that are against it, even though they are difficult and you fail, it's going to make you the best trader that you can be. So long as you finally accept the rules and you finally accept how difficult it is, and then you focus on like, okay, I need to take a trade at this time, or I've been down 500 for the day, I need to stop for the day. So hopefully that gives somebody some insight that's currently on the stream. Sportflix wanted to look at Bitcoin one more time. We talked about we are in a weekly weekly breaker block on Bitcoin, so we want to make sure here, so long as Sportflix stops spamming the word Bitcoin, we want to make sure that we, find out how this week closes. We got 3 days and 8 hours. So Bitcoin weekly chart, I want to see if we can break through this. If we reject it, then we look like we could retrace and set that lower high or higher low off of this previous resistance. Now, let's say this is our swing high, right? We could bring that low on a Fibonacci. You can notice right where this resistance lines up is right at that 50 level on this one here. That's why we have the box. We could just bam right there. Lines up at the 50 level. So we could look for a retracement before heading higher, but for now, let's just see how it reacts to this breaker block from a previous demand level. So it's our first time touching it. So yeah. How's everybody doing today? Anybody profitable today? I know people in the chat, people in the Discord had some good days. Forrest is up $1,700.
Who? 17?
Four set. Sorry, I didn't say that right.
Damn.
4 set. 1,700.
Nice job.
Benji had a 3K day. Was it 3K day today, Benji, or is it 3K for the week?
Where's my chicken sandwich?
Either way, great job, man. Beat me. Luke today up $400 for the week. Heck yeah, man, that's awesome. They're beating me 100%. Let me see. Anybody else post anything? But yeah, great job, guys. Luke, $951 just posted an update. 951 on the on his funded. Yeah, man. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Seriously. I am going to write out the step-by-step process of the Neocloud strategy, but you need to be patient with me because I want to make sure. Sorry, let me bring up MES. I want to make sure that it can pass a funded account. Just because we're $800 away doesn't mean it's going to hit. We could have 5 red days in a row here in a second. So I don't know. Once it passes, we're almost there. But again, those rules being set is what is keeping this continuously profitable. I mean, look at this equity curve here. It's insane. So hopefully we can continue to do that. Yep. And yeah, my favorite way to backtest, and other people have better ways to backtest, but my favorite way is, doing a prop firm account. Because it's $50. And if it does end up passing, then I can make that $50 back in about, 5 days on Top Step. I can get it back.
Are you watching any? Do you have any alerts set up for potentials right now, or no?
I wish, man. Every time we get on the stream, like all of them just go away. Nothing yet.
So it's more like New York session.
Possibly gold. Yeah, it's early morning. It tends to have nice setups. Actually, this is a gold 5 minute. Sorry. 3 minutes. So there you go. Gold 5 minute though. Look at this. Actually had a failed setup on the 5 minute. Another reason why I like the 3 minute. This is the first test here. Right? First breakout test, and then it bounced. But look at this. This is where just knowing your own, knowing patterns as well can be really key, okay? You can see here, this is one of the most beautiful head and shoulder patterns, inverse head and shoulder patterns I have seen in a long time. This is gold 5 minute. I mean, that is gorgeous. That hasn't been, I haven't seen that clean of a head and shoulder or inverse head and shoulders in forever. That's pretty awesome. So there you go. Broke the low, came back up, and that is another strategy you could look for, guys. If I don't trade head and shoulders, but let's see if if I go back, I could probably find it. Let me see. Let's see if I bet you the on the right patterns detection setting, it probably detected it. Let me see. So this actually detected descending wedge before that. Wow. Okay. Let me see here. If I go to a lower time frame or lower setting, it'll probably show up. Let me try 2. That might be too low. That's too low. Let's see. So what's the difference between the 3 minute and the 5 minute for scalping? I mean, it just depends. I like the 3 minute, like I said, on gold and on CL there. A lot. NQ, MNQ. It's funny, when I first started trading, a lot of these traders I used to watch. It was like back in like 2017. I used to watch. I think it was 2016 maybe. I don't know. Whenever Robinhood first came out, was that 2015? I don't remember. Everybody's intrigue probably came from Robinhood for the most part before they came mainstream. But when they first released is when I started trading. But penny stocks, big thing. Options weren't really a thing yet. But the guys that I followed were trading 3 minutes. I was like, okay, 3 minute chart, interesting. But then over the years, I've noticed, it's pretty common. It's 1, 3, 5, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour daily. Can you I'll put him in timeout. Sportflix, if you keep spamming, man, I'm sorry. I'm going to put you in timeout. I'm not going to respond to spam. We'll go back over the Neocloud strat in a little bit. We just went over it. But for now, nothing currently setting up at the moment. Crude oil did have a nice setup. And another thing I like to say is, like, even when you're trading like a strategy like this, if it makes logical sense of this setting up, you could take the trade. Obviously, your risk is going to be a little higher, so you might want to have, a shorter stop loss, shorter leash on it. But like on this here, like this, ideally, I wouldn't normally take on it on crude oil, but I did think about it just because you had this this lovely candle right here. Can anybody name what this candle is for me? Does anybody know what this candle is right here? I'm gonna highlight it if I can find my drawing tool. If you can, let's see. There you go. We got a nice hammer candle here. So single can, it's just the one. Nice little hammer. So seeing that, that can help. That can really help with identifying trades that might necessarily be anything that you're really wanting to take necessarily. Because notice how skinny or how small the Neo is. It flipped, came retested, but it did have a hammer. So like, in my opinion, like I just said, is if I were to take this trade, and sometimes I will, I'd set my stop really close. Because notice here on this, we would have had a 1 to almost 1.5 risk to reward, which is fine. I mean, we're not risking much. One lot was a $200 risk to make $300. Our daily risk is like $500. I mean, I do between $500 and $1,000, but we haven't necessarily even gotten close to that. So yeah, it's just depending on the situation as well. Ideal setups, we're okay with risking more. We might get a trade here today. We'll see. Volume's dying off a bit, but we shall kind of hang around and look. How many contracts do you take on MES when you're testing? Do you scale in or out of trade? No, I just take straight up trades, honestly. Once funded and I can have more on this strategy, then I would probably scale into it, because one thing I wanted to do in test was, it might be better. Let me see if NQ 5-minute had it today. So like this case, it might be better, and it actually didn't trigger today. I was thinking potentially sizing one off, or taking one at the close of the candle, taking another at the actual Neocloud touch, because sometimes price does tend to come back into the Neocloud before going lower. Now today we've just had some great days, a great week. So again, I mean, we've only been doing this for 5 days, so technically it could be, after 5 days could be horrible. But like CL,
you are so close, so
yeah,
close.
we are close. I've been close a lot, though.
God, I am so hungry too.
You're right. Anyway, like see on the Neo here, if I set my entry, on the Neocloud instead of at this candle close, then I would have had a decent difference of an entry, and then stop below the Neo, and then we would have targeted this high, right? So I would have had a little bit better setup. And this is the 5-minute, of course, rather than the 3-minute. Do you trade full mini or micro on Neocloud demo? I trade, so MES and NQ, because of the volatility, I've been trading 5 micros. CL and gold, because in natural gas, been trading a full mini. Just because, well, for one, nat gas doesn't even have minis yet, or micros. When does that come out again, Mickey?
November 6th.
November 6th, nat gas micros, but CL does have micros. I don't know. Does gold? I think gold does too. MGC.
Yeah, gold does. Yeah, gold has it.
So yeah, gold has micros as well as CL, but again, those have been way better for these setups. So I haven't really worried about trading micros on those. But ES, it tends, especially in times like this, have very, very volatile mornings. So like I'd rather trade 5 and then go for $100-200. That's what happened today actually. You can see on let's go to today. Today I traded, can you see that at the bottom? Yeah, MES 5, because you can only trade 5 on this account, but it was only for second trade $106. Would have paid off way more than that actually, but only 106 on that just because the volatility is a little stronger. But there, that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to kind of take your risk off and then just stick with the consistency, because you don't want it damaging what you've already built, right? So we'll see. Praying we can get there. Possibly one more day. Tomorrow we have a few good trades, or later today we have another good trade we could easily pass, which would be awesome. And then we'll start up in the funded the actual funded account, or express funded account, and then see where we can take it. It depends. It can be 1-to-1. It can be 1 to 1.2. It can be 1 to 1.5. It just depends how that candle closes. We're just targeting those lows. So like today on gold, it was my first trade for the 250. It was on gold. All right. So today on gold, we had a trade. Oh yeah, right here. Perfect. Should just go over it actually. I don't think I went over this trade. All right. Today we had a gold trade. Flipped. First time it broke out was right here. Right? Broke out upside. Huge Neocloud. Right? Now, after it broke out the Neocloud, we want to see a clean candle close underneath. We don't want anything that's right at it. Clean candle close. Got it right here on this guy. Right? And so, on that guy, took our short. For now, had our stop below. We had just above the Neocloud. Next candle closed down a bit, so we dragged it down. We were always adjusting our stop loss, but we targeted this. I think we targeted the low. We can look here in a sec. But otherwise, no, we didn't, because I didn't go for 300. I think we got 250 out of it, right? 260, so 26. 26. I tend to go right at these bodies. I like to go right where the body opens and closes, just in case. But again, what I'm noticing is just usually targeting the low or right above the low is usually good. So that would have been $320 if we would have taken it. We actually would have been up 400 today. But again, I'm just taking what I feel, because we kept getting some candles get bought up like this, but ended up hitting perfectly. But we can like go back here and see on GC here. There you go. Why is this? I need to change the zoom out. There you go. There you go. Go to 3 minute. Actually, forgetting I have the time frame. 3 minutes. There you go. So like I said, that one. Now the low is from pre-market. I keep forgetting how I changed that before. Anyway, this is market open. 9 a.m. Took the entry. That was 9. I'm Central Time. 9 Central. This is 10 Eastern there. But overall, not too bad. But there's 260 on that move there. So pretty good. Not too shabby. That one was that a little over? Yeah, it might have been a little over 1-to-1. Still cranking on gold though. I do like gold for the long term. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. So like we always, and we're just gonna jump over the intermission, but we always, we talk about news, right? And that's another thing why I do like trading gold, and I do like trading crude oil and nat gas, because if I pull up the news, right? Yesterday what happened? Well, we had crude oil inventories. And what? We were at a positive in our inventory. So that means, the value of price per barrel is going to go down. So yesterday, we knew price more than likely was going to continue lower. So if we had a bearish setup, we were way more confident in that setup. We could have probably sized up. So it's just, knowing the news too can really help. Today, natural gas reported. Where's nat gas? Natural gas, boom. Okay, a little less than expected, right? So what happens to that? It drives the price of natural gas. What happened today? Oh, let's go back to the charts. Look at natural gas right there. Boom, natural gas up 5% today. Why, why am I fighting those numbers? So that's why I'm saying, like, crude oil and nat gas, you can honestly trade them based on the news too. But might as well wait for the setups and trade alongside the news, because I mean, this is the best part about nat gas, and the best part about it, about crude oil, is like when you get those reports each week, like the price is going to react accordingly. Like it just is. Now, obviously, there are times where you can see here on CL, if we did go to the, let's go to the 4 hour. And then we had that trade yesterday. So nat gas yesterday, let me go to the 1 hour actually. Nat gas yesterday, we had the report, right? And it actually rallied a bit at first. We did wait for, dive in. Let's see, what time did the report come out? Let me double check. Sorry, this is crude oil, by the way, if I said natural gas a few times there. Yesterday, the report came out usually 10:30, right? Yeah, double checking. 10:30, yep. Okay. So we had that 10:30 report on crude oil. If we go to 10:30 Eastern, right here, boom. 10:30 reported. So, it's... Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I have my logic down. They reported at a positive. So value should have what? It should have gone down. Well, guess what? Well, let's look back at the daily. Where is it on a daily chart this week? Or we can even look at the weekly. This week. Before yesterday even happened, it was already down a full 7%. It hit a low of 7%. Yesterday, I think it was around 6%. So for that week, it was already down. So people were it was already priced in on that news. But when we go into those lower time frames, if we look at yesterday, let me look at Wednesday. Let's see right here. Report came in. It's Tuesday. Tuesday we had that trade there. That was a lovely trade. And then where's my Wednesday at? Oh yeah, here it is. Sorry. Wednesday actually ended up, I forgot we did take this trade. The report came out at 10:30, right? Came out at 10:30 right here. Neocloud was bearish. So we said, you know what? Let's, take the trade because the report was reporting that price should be lower. So we had actually ended up taking a trade right here, and it did hit, and that's why I say you target those lows. But this bounce indicated that price was already put into the market before the report even came out. But even with the report being bearish at that moment, and Neocloud was bearish, was ideal for the setup, which was what I was trying to get at with nat gas today. It was the report overall drove what this should have done. Crude oil yesterday obviously was already down for the week. If nat gas today, I mean, this thing was already cranking, but nat gas yesterday was still down from last week, right? It was down here. Today we're up 17 cents. So we had a very nice little move from the $3. Today we were up, we're open around $3. So we were still down from last week. So if that report was good, if it was a good report, or honestly not a good report, if there was a demand for them, price was going to go up, right? But knowing where I'm at on a weekly or a daily chart can really indicate on where nat gas or crude oil might head for that day. So sorry, that was a little bit of a twist there for those of you that might have been new. I was all around the map. PCE news, yes, that's what we didn't go over either. Let's go back to the news. Talk about some PCE, PCP, holding it down. Sorry, let me pull up this. All right. Yes, tomorrow. Forgot to go over the news for later this week, so you guys know. And then I'm gonna take a breather, and Mickey's gonna go over some charts that he wants to go over. Is there anything you do want to go over?
No, we're gonna go to school a little bit here.
Go to more schooling.
Yeah.
If there's anything you guys do want to look at here in a little bit, we will post it in there. If there's anything specifically, it didn't even have to be a chart. If you guys want us to talk about something, or you want to, like, I don't know, watch a YouTube video, I don't even care. You just tell me what you want would make your day that much better, and I'm happy to do it as long as it's not too crazy. Anyway, yeah, Edward, we can look at Alphabet again for sure. Course PCE price index comes out 8:30, hour before market open tomorrow. So know that, keep it in your brain, burn it in it, or just go to investing.com every day before market opens. Make sure you know what news is coming out that day. PCE tomorrow projected a beat from last month. We'll see, at a bottom, at a new low, maybe we do get a nice bounce. Could get a nice bounce if we get a good beat. PCE price index as well for September, the core. For the year over year is looking like it's going to be down. If that beats, probably be even better. We'll probably get a nice little rally. So we're supposed to be down from last year, but if we end up beating last year from last September, then maybe we do have a really good day. We're red today, obviously. You can see on the right here, US 30, the Dow down 200 points. We have SP 500 down 46 points, and then NASDAQ down 231 points. So we'll see if we get some nice little buying back tomorrow with the PCE. Otherwise, we could tank even lower. But that is Friday. I was going to see if we had any late day stuff. Nothing too crazy. Oh, yeah, I did forget that Jerome did talk yesterday after hours. Right? Oh, yeah, yesterday after hours. I'm assuming that's another thing to pay attention to. Is what does Jerome Powell say, especially when he's in an after-hour session? Clearly today, even with the numbers from whatever he said yesterday, it's probably the same dancing around if we're going to increase interest rates anymore, or, if we're at a peak. But knowing what he said can really help on analysis for the next day where we might head, because that's what drives it. Yeah, we'll look at. I forget forgetting. Yeah, Amazon is after hours. We will look at. That here in a bit. I'm gonna pull up all the data on Amazon. We can look over that because Edward, the 4 hour doesn't matter on Amazon. Does not matter. The earnings that come out is what matters. I'm trying to think where my earnings was. I'll pull up the earnings. The earnings that come out, though, is what's really going to matter. We'll look over that here in just a sec. But Mickey's going to take us away. Are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, I'm ready. You going to take a little break?
No, I'm going to chill here and get everything ready to go over Amazon for people that want it. And we can look at how their earnings have done in the past as well as how they might do today.
Okay, good. I'll go over some Neocloud stuff, and I'll end it with a brief Amazon Neocloud, and that should be a good segue back over to you, okay?
Sounds good, man.
All right. Dollar index on my favorite time frame, 4 hour. Okay. I have just a Neocloud, right? Let me disable the watermark. This is the dollar index, okay? Just received a DM. This is a spare of the moment. I'm gonna go over the Neocloud. Just received a DM. Why does Jacob all of a sudden using Neocloud?
Mickey turned me on to the Neocloud.
Well,
I have always liked it.
Yeah, it's not me. It's not anyone else. It's always been there, right?
Real quick, yeah, it has always been there. It actually has been there almost since the beginning. No, it was one of
almost day one.
Almost day one. It was one of the first trend following tools on signals and overlays. What I like to do, and for a while at night, sometimes I'll hop on my computer and I'll just go through all Lux Algo settings, and I'll
you too?
Yeah, I'll just go through all of the Lux Algo features, and I'll be like, okay,
Yep.
how can I create a strategy that might work? Because you never know. If you do it enough, you might find something that really works. And what happened was I was looking at the way price reacts to the Neocloud and how when it breaks and breaks under. I was like, oh, this might work. And I went in the past, and I noticed on a similar version of what we're doing now, it was a little different, more complex like strategy, which ended up actually not doing great the month before. But this month, my old one did like 100 points in profit in October alone. I was like, okay, there might be something here. So I started tweaking it, looking through like different ways to go about it. And now we're on this, 5-day win streak and up 200 and, $200 or $2,200. So, that's pretty much what I do. So that's why I'm recently, been flexing the Neocloud so much, is because we're constantly sitting here trying to find the best ways to use the indicators and also use them for ourselves, because that's what we do. We're just as much traders as you guys are. We're not trying to sit here and just sell you this product saying it's going to work. We want to give you stuff that does work, because it does. There's certain things within these indicators that work for certain types of traders, and it all comes down to what kind of trader you are. But again, we're going to try to continue to develop strategies that are going to help you find what works for you using these indicators. And so far for this, the Neocloud has been a godsend for me recently. So we're going to see how it plays out. But go ahead, Mickey. Sorry.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, Neocloud and the order blocks, two simple concepts, that started everything for me. It was just based off of the Lux Algo short form videos, just a 30-second video, but let's go back to the Neocloud here. We have just bare price action, no colors, no nothing. Okay. Now, the reason why we love Neocloud is the way it trends and the way it tells the story, right? If you zoom out, right? So I disabled the colors. I disabled all the signals so we can concentrate on the Neocloud, right? This is 4 hour. I demonstrated this, I think, a couple weeks ago, but we have some new viewers and new members that don't know about this exercise, okay? We are going to zoom out, right?
Luke's watching zoom out. You. Be careful.
What was that?
Said Luke's watching you now. Be
Luke,
careful.
Yeah, Luke. Yeah, I got him. Hold on. We are going to zoom out year to date. Okay. Year to date on all the symbols, assets that I watch. So we're not going to cherry pick dollar, ES, gold, euro, USD, whatever, right? The main symbols in its own asset class, right? So now take a look. This is year to date. Take a look at the Neocloud. You will get some choppy, right? Like most recently, we know why, because of the news in JP, right? But for the most part, with good trade management, at the end of the year, you're doing pretty good, right? Even if you took the Neocloud blindly. Well, where did this one start? It started right here. Take it blindly, year to date. And here's where he got chopped up a bit. So this one loser does not offset all these winners here, right? So this is the dollar year to date. Let's go back a year. Last year. Scan it back, right? So do your own homework. It's not that the 4 hour fits on all assets. The 4 hour fits my style on the assets that I watch. So if you like something like, I don't know, Google or Amazon, 4 hour may not work because that is a stock, right? You may want to bring it down. You may want to bring it down to 1 hour. You may want to bring it up to a daily chart. I don't know, because I don't watch that, right? But this is the dollar.
I'm gonna go to the restaurant and be right back.
Sure, no problem. Now, how do we trade this? How do we build a strategy around this? Signals and overlays. Let's head over to the settings, right? Let's turn on the coloring. Candle coloring confirmation simple. Okay. Now let's turn on some signals. I won't overcomplicate things with optimal sensitivity, right? But for this exercise, let's just use autopilot. Long term, I'm going to turn on signal mode, confirmation exits. Okay. We're going to use the AI signal classifier. I am going to show all 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. The level of the strength of each AI signal. Let's take a look. Bull signal up. For the most part, not too bad. Not too shabby, right? Take a look at these signals. Here's a perfect example. Neocloud is red. Bearish. Price action. Candle coloring. Red. Purple. Back down the red. Create a rule. Only take the signals in the direction of Neocloud. Right? That's one simple rule to create a strategy. So you avoided this long signal against the Neocloud. Okay? But I get it. These signals on a 4-hour time frame is much too long. I gotta wait like how many months? I don't want to swing trade. I want to scalp. Okay. Let's head over to the settings. Remember, this is only an example, what you could do on your chart, right? Instead of long-term, show me midterm signals. Okay, let's create a rule. Only take the signals in the direction of the Neocloud. Okay. It's the same rule as before, but I decreased the sensitivity of the signals from long-term to midterm. Now we don't have to wait too long. Okay. No, this one. Up, up, up. When you get into a trend change, that's when you need to have trade management. You need to be on your game. We always stress trade management comes first. Limit your losses, right? Your wins will come later at a later point. All right. Let's take a look at a different asset. We'll do the same exercise. Euro USD. Okay. Let's focus back onto the Neocloud. I'm going to take away most of the signals, right? This is why Jacob loves the Neocloud, right?
I love it. I love it.
Let's zoom out. Go back year to date. Look at that. With trade management, you can actually trade off of this high tire frame. Trail stop this sucker, right? Jacob's eating a chicken dinner every day.
Whoa. Actually, yeah, zoom in on the first time it broke on the recent, like it's been in a downtrend forever. Go back up when it broke red there. Yeah, up there.
Oh, this one there? Yeah.
Zoom in there. Let's look. See if my strategy currently works on there too.
There you go.
Even if you didn't take that, you took the next one and even when it played out. Boom. Tapped, it broke through that high, see it closed below, and then it kept going. Did it there again. Kept going.
You know?
It's just, yeah.
You could use Jacob's strategy, swing trading. For those of you who have full-time jobs, take your trade, work the whole week, right? Get your alerts set up. You're good to go. There's no reason to quit your full-time job, right? Don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself, right? So this is let's go back year to date. I'm not. Here we go. What's the year to date?
Can't you hit
There's
one
year to
Y
date.
at the bottom there, or YTD at the bottom left?
Oh, okay, right there.
Click that
Okay.
and see what happens. Should pop up. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to mess up my chart.
No, it should. It should just
All right.
rescale you to that.
All right, there you go.
Your
What is that? Okay.
Wait, is that right?
No, it doesn't look right. No. See, I told you.
I messed you up. You're way ahead. What the heck?
No, it's switched back to daily.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
There you go.
My bad.
But we'll go to year to date. We'll go last year too, right? 03. There's last year. Oh man, look at that. All right. Let's go the year before. I don't care. Neocloud keeps you safe year after year. Okay. Let's check out another asset. USDJPY.
Look over Amazon too for you.
Okay. Let's go to year to date. There's year to date. Damn, that's beautiful, right? With a trailing stop, if you took Neocloud signals entry and use a trailing stop, a simple strategy, a mindless strategy, you're good at the end of the year. Okay. We'll go next year. Well, the year before. Same thing. All right. Take a look at that. All right. Let's take a look at ES. All right. Where's my ES?
Real quick, I'm going to just pop over my chart real quick because Jack said it might be a 3-minute setup. So I'm going to show you why it isn't at the moment. I'm going to do just 2 seconds. So it flipped, but we already broke it. Okay. So this would need to flip back bearish, and then we could do it. But it already
Thanks,
broke.
Jack.
We want to probably wait until because you can already see it selling off. So we want to wait until we get a clean, or a first break. Usually is what I like to trade. It's the very first one. But yeah, go ahead, Mickey.
No. Same example. This is the ES. ES mini futures. Here's year to date. Neocloud, same story. For the most part, with trade management, you're good. Okay. Scan it back, visually back test it. Okay. NQ should be the same. Okay. There's NQ. Not too shabby. Why don't we look at a stock? What was it? Was it Amazon that you're gonna go to? Let's go to Amazon.
Yeah, we're gonna go over Amazon earnings.
All right. Let me show Amazon on Neo. Hold on. Where's my Amazon? Amazon. Now, stocks, I actually like, I think daily. No. It's either 1 hour or daily. I forget. Let me try 1 hour. Not too shabby, right? Let's go with the daily. All right. So depending on your favorite symbol you watch with the Neocloud, find that sweet spot in the time frame. My sweet spot is the 4 hour on the symbols I watch. I don't watch stocks, so I haven't figured out the sweet spot on stocks. With stocks, like Jacob says, it's all about earnings, right? And fundamentals. Maybe that means a lower time frame. Maybe a 2 hour. We haven't spoken about a 2 hour much. Let's scan it. 2 hours, not too shabby. All right. Take a look at that. Okay. So that is why we love the Neocloud. Okay. Jacob, you want to go over your Amazon?
Yes, sir. Let's go over some Amazon here, guys. Let's jump back over to. Actually, you know what? Sorry. I'm going to hit you with the transition one more time there. And let's hit into Amazon earnings coming out after hours today, right? Yes, I think. Yeah. Oh, no, it's right here. October 26th. Sorry. Period ending September. Okay. Amazon first, and then we can go over Alphabet there as well. Amazon first. We are forecasted 582 EPS. As we can see, if we go back to October of 22, we can go back to the past two. We were projected 22. We beat 28, got beat. Go back to October. What we need to make sure we look at the history, guys. History is key for these companies because you want to see it, increasing in value. You want to see how they do each quarter because usually, depending on what kind of company they are, you're going to see quarters that are repetitively misses and repetitively beats. And then if you get something opposite of that, it can always be even better. As you can see in 21, though, we did have a loss on the EPS, but the EPS changed quite a bit from back in 21 here. 22 in October, massive beat. So I don't want to go back further in October, honestly. You can see we missed the week before. So year before, we got a miss, and then we got a beat. Let's see if it goes kind of a pattern. Miss, beat, and then beat again last October. So nothing too crazy on a pattern where it's like miss, beat, like we saw on whatever the other day on Microsoft. But so this quarter projected 582 from last quarter. It's up. Last quarter, though, was reported as 0.65, which is a good indication that maybe, even if we go back to last year in October, we could see July was 15 and then it ended up missing, which isn't good. And it was less. Let's see before, though. July 10 and then reported bigger. So that's good. So it beating quite a bit. Hopefully we get a beat. Revenue looks like it just hit to key last quarter, which is pretty good, right on the money for that. So going now, what I do next when you're analyzing. Jack said, every time Mickey says not too shabby, I hear the Hana Kua song in my head, or however you say that. What even is that song? You know what that song is?
No, I don't personally know that song.
I don't even know how to say that. I think I know what song you're talking about, though. We might
Not
look it up
too
here in a
shabby.
We might look that up here in a sec. Anyway, let's go back. Adam Sandler. Yes. Okay. I knew what that was. Yes. You're so true. That's so right. Okay. October, though. We look back and now see how price reacts, right? So October of 21, price gaps down, right? Gaps down, gets bought back up same day. And that was a miss, right? So gap down on a miss. We go to October of 22 here on Amazon. Boom. Week of the 20th. We ended up, again, massive gap down, right? Then gets bought back up. Gaps down, gets bought back up. If that is a pattern throughout October, what we could see is potentially on Amazon, if you wanted, you could YOLO, shorts tonight, but that's a YOLO, right? In my case, I would say screw that. If we see a pattern of it gaps down, gets bought up that day, because look, let's see, bought up this day, goes up 6% after a gap down 13%. So if it gets bought up if we know that it normally gets bought up after it gaps down, if we see a gap down today, we're going to look here again what happened. This was last year. So if we see a gap down tonight, which is indicating that it tends to gap down, tomorrow we might look for longs to regain some of that price back. So that could be a pattern that we like to watch. Let's go back to, did I look at 20? Let me see here. 2020. October. Did I look at that? We did, right? So here you go. Reports, gaps down. This one actually didn't gap down much and ended up selling off. But recently, it didn't gap down that much. So if you have a big gap down, you might want to look for a bounce back. Mickey reviews his chicken sandwich biscuit dinner. Not too shabby. We should just have chicken biscuit reviews with Mickey. Just every once or twice a week on stream, he'll do that chicken that chicken sandwich test that went viral. Like all the places started doing the spicy chicken sandwich or whatever, and like that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Just bring on a new chicken sandwich and we'll review it.
Oh, they need to sponsor us first,
right? Anyway, today, we're down this week pretty aggressively on Amazon. So, like, I will say we get a beat. Let's go back. If you get a beat, more than likely you probably would see price kind of come back. Amazon's pretty down on the, let's say year to date for Amazon. Do that again. Year to date, it's actually up year to date. That's pretty good. So year to date, if we were to just take, roughly the 1st of January to today, it's up roughly 33% with a high of roughly 63%. So not too shabby. There we go. But, it tends to gap down in October. So I would just say, because of the pattern of in October, it gaps down, I would always look for the downside because of that. Then tomorrow, because if it gaps down, 5-10%, then tomorrow you could just trade off of that and then maybe long. So new word, not too shabby. But here we go. Jumping back into the lower time frame charts here. Let's see. I mean, I will say that recently has been fantastic trends, intraday trends. Like we're getting some great intraday trends. These have been so nice. A lot of we haven't had too many choppy days, which is really good, especially for those of you that do trade either side of price, or trade both sides of price. It's really nice to see us have trending days because we don't get that very often. That's the other reason why I like the Neocloud is because it can really help you in identifying, which day is trending or how price is trending too. So great little trending day today as well, but it seems as if we're trying to confirm a bottom here. We'll see if we do. We did sweep those lows here on the NQ and get bought back up, which is a good indication after we set the low several times. So essentially, if you get that market structure change here through this high, we might get a setup to recover some of this price late today. But for the time being, we kind of just wait around for that. Jack said you can't unhear it now. Amazing. Ooh, I like the oscillator on this too. Yeah, Bitcoin, what a week it's had. I mean, this thing is just, I don't just want to see this weekly candle. This week, man, it hit a high of 17%, currently up 13% still for the week. Mike Lowry. You remind me of that one basketball player. I think I had a bet on Lowry last night to make like 3 3-pointers, and then he didn't make them. So, already not a fan of you. I'm just kidding. But welcome to the stream. I appreciate you being a first-time viewer. And what would you like to look at, Mike? It would be awesome to look at something maybe you would want to see. Our best prediction of the week. And again, these are predictions, my friends. These are predictions. Was the bull flag break on the 4-hour gold? We sure got it. Again, Mickey, I need a replay mode to go back on stream. I actually do. If gold hits 2K, I'm definitely making a reel on this. I'll tell you that. If gold hits 2K, which it definitely looks like it wants to. Look at that 4-hour move there. Already, it already set up. We were targeting the breakout of this. We got it yesterday, and now we're currently trending even higher. Target is that 2K break. You best believe we'd be making a video on that once if it does hit. But great job if you're inside that trade already.
And you got an eye for bull flags, huh?
I love me some bull flags. I mean, honestly, I will say my favorite are bear flags, but bull flag just as good.
What about a chicken flag?
Chicken flag. Looks something like, I think there's a chicken forming right here. I don't know. That's not a chicken. That looks like the, now we got Frankenstein going on here.
I got another simple strat on Neocloud too. I'll go over in a bit.
Does Frankenstein have a smile? No, that's not. That's a fun Frankenstein.
That's a Bart.
Bitcoin to the moon karaoke. Yeah, Bitcoin. Like I said, we have that weekly breaker block that we're watching. We can go back to, let's go back to this chart. Pull up our order blocks. We can go over Alphabet again, yeah. But yeah, Bitcoin, that breaker block. Want to see how it closes this week here.
Luke says shabby flag.
Shabby flag. Let's look at for you real quick there. We can look at I am Groot. He said, yeah, Google did have their earnings and they tanked hard. Let's look at their daily. Massive gap down on Google last night. That actually would have paid. Usually their options pay pretty nicely. They did beat on their revenue. Barely. EPS beat a bit. I'm assuming Outlook didn't look so good. We probably had some reports today on potential price targets. This year, though, it's just had a good year, too. So just time for that reset, the yearly reset. We pull year to date, 57% this year from that high. Now we're sitting at 37% on Google. We're entering now it looks like a 4-hour, potentially daily order block there. I got the purple. For Google at the moment, target's going to be 120. I want to see how price reacts at 120. You have those two order blocks that are stacked together there. Looking for 120. Through 120, then we can talk about where it might head, but 120 would be my target. Otherwise, once it does confirm a bounce, we're checking these lows again around 127. So, yeah, Google shared this. I mean, you might get even better. I think you'll get even better price on Google. I went to look over their report to see mainly what the reasoning is behind this. More than likely, it's just Outlook. But if it does end up coming down even lower to like sub 120, then there you go. It's good buying opportunity.
They were probably late to the game in AI, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, they just didn't say any AI. They didn't say this one single thing about artificial intelligence, man. They just tanked every time. Everybody sold. All the degens sold all their shares of Google the minute they heard no AI. we're not exploring AI. They're like, yeah, screw that. Let's see. Microsoft has Bing AI. Where is Google AI? Honestly, that's a good question. People would like Google over Bing any day. Who the heck likes Bing? I don't know. You got to be kind of crazy to like Bing. Bing's used by I don't even know. I can't even think of who would use Bing. ES though. Now this is interesting. We had a flip after a failed Neocloud flip here. I personally won't be taking this trade because it's been already trending twice. It's already tested Neocloud twice. I remember I like to see like an initial breakthrough and then come back down. But, let's see what happens if it does reject this. And then all I'll do is I'll just do one of these little projection shorts like this and see if it tests the low. But again, it's not an ideal setup, so I don't have to take it. We want ideal setup. So crude oil could have an ideal setup though. So we'll keep an eye on crude oil as well. PCE beat tomorrow. Beat is going to be a good thing. We want a good beat on the PCE. Most of the time beats are good. Only time beats aren't good not necessarily aren't good. Honestly, beats are always good because if you had a beat, if you have a greater supply on crude oil, then price goes down. We all want to pay less for gas. Same with nat gas. Any gas. So any beat's usually pretty good. Just the value is different. Most of the time. There's a few reports where you don't want it to be. You want it to decrease. Like inflation. Definitely don't want inflation to
inflation beat last year's inflation.
Inflation's higher than last year.
Woohoo!
Yeah, no, that'd be the only one. Besides, there might be one or two others, but Nvidia. I mean, we can look at whatever you guys want to look at. Yeah, we want to see something good tomorrow. And again, if you are questionable about this, for those of you that, some of these numbers, like even me, like I know the general aspect of what all these numbers mean for the economy. I'm not like, I wasn't an econ major. I can't just tell you exactly what this is going to do in the long run I just know how it affects the market, right? But if you don't know how it affects the market, when you go to the economic calendar, okay, look at what color it is, right? So like, see, notice here, good trade balance was negative, but look, it's green, right? So this makes it trade. This is trading news for dummies. They just make it trade news for dummies. It's like it's green, right? So noticing that it's negative, but it's green, that's a good thing, right? Red, bad. Green, good. Red, bad, green, good. And we got an alert there. I think that's on CL. Ding-a-ling and CL potential setup. First step 1 has been completed. Smooth brain day. Traders green equal good. Green good, red bad. Green go. Green long. Red short. It's gonna be we just need to create a book, Mickey. It's gonna be Neocloud for Neanderthals. News for Neanderthals.
Not too shabby.
Money. Yeah, it'll literally be the title will be not too shabby. But honestly, though, that's genius. We have 2 ends: Neocloud for Neanderthals, and News for Neanderthals. So you just read it, and it's like PCE. Green mean good. Increase mean good. GDP increase mean good. Neo for noobs. I like that. That's a good one too. You best believe if we start hitting bangers like in a year from now, if I'm live trading and you see me hit like 10K with this Neocloud strategy, which is obviously a little too crazy to even predict, but if we're hitting big numbers here, we're gonna be 100% having hats and T-shirts that just say "Neo is life" and shit like that.
No, man, I'd be eating chicken sandwiches every day.
That will definitely be the Neo nerds.
So you got the alert on CL just now?
Step 1 alert, which is the Neocloud flipping.
Right.
So
Sounds
we'll
good.
see. Let's see how long we've been streaming for. I can tell when we've been streaming for a bit when my ears start hurting because of my headphones.
We're about almost 2.5 hours. But
2.5 hours, an hour and a half.
Oh, I don't know. What is it?
So
I turned on
2.5
Zoom.
hours.
I turned on my streaming a lot earlier.
I was about to say an hour early.
No.
Yeah, ES here. Okay, we got NQ. All right, so I'm not, like I said. Well, if this would work. Oh, is it gonna connect? Oh, nice. It did connect. It connected. Dope. So TradingMate just connected once again onto TradingView, so we're good there. Hopefully you guys couldn't see my passcode through the dots, but just kidding. Some of you have X-ray vision or something. But yeah, so Neo here, NQ with the Neo. It's tough because we're at a low. We've been trading. Look, we set 1, 2, 3 lower highs, right? We broke that structure. I wouldn't take it, honestly. But if it does break below it, this is where we just test, right? We just test it. We're still in testing phases. We've been back testing, obviously, with trading the real thing on ideal setups. This isn't ideal, so we necessarily wouldn't take it. But I do like this, though. So we'll take note of this. I'm going to set an alert here so we know. But notice the oscillator. Neocloud Believer 69420. Love it. Neo on top, FTW 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's my. Those are all my passcodes. It said Neocloud 1, 2, 3. But notice oscillator is actually pretty high up there, so there is potential. But again, because we've been trending downward, and we already kind of had a breakout and then barely busted. We'll see. We'll just do probably just a projected one. Let's look at YM there. The Dow Jones for Edward. Edwar. I still don't know how to pronounce or say your name. Edwar. There you go.
Edwar TV.
Edwar TV. I just want to say Edward. Can I say Edward? Does that work? Same thing here. You swept these lows. Now you're trying to break structure. So understanding, price action is good too. If we were to pull up, our actual price action here, if that breaks out on the YM, I'd rather look long. Neo situation here. Actually, this would be the first test, but I don't like that we're at new lows either. So it doesn't, being this extended doesn't really help on a higher time frame. But we'll see. Crude oil though, look at this. Why do I like crude oil? Well, crude oil flipped here. Now it just recently flipped. And look, there's another low down here, right? Another low down here. So it's like there is room for this that we've seen today already, early pre-market. That's, tested. So, we'll see if we get something. That's a little bit more ideal of a setup. But let's see on NQ. You might as well, if it does break down, look at it as we continue to learn. Hope you guys have been enjoying the stream so far. Since we're kind of just waiting, is there anything specific in the stream that you would like, a segment or like something that you would like that would be entertaining? Like it can literally be anything. Like if you have suggestions, you can either put it in the chat right now, or you can also just DM me in the Discord. That works too. But that'd be cool. We would love to just make this as entertaining as possible for you guys.
There's something that's entertaining. Hey,
what's up?
Jacob, you got a pen?
Okay. Yeah, wait. It's in the closet. I got a phone with a note. Do I need an actual pen?
I could pass something to you and you can just grab it.
Yeah, throw it through the computer, man. But yeah. Now I want chicken.
While we're waiting, flip it back over to me. I want to show everyone another strategy.
Speaking of strategy, though, look at that. Amazon 2 hour had the Neocloud set up. Money in the bank. Shoddy, what you think? All right, let's see what you got.
All right, Amazon. Let's see my chart. You see my chart?
Yeah.
All right. Amazon. We won't concentrate on just Amazon. We just concentrate on the Neocloud. This is a very simple strategy. A couple of years ago, I actually used this, right? Neocloud, 2 hour time frame. 2 hours not important. It's just a higher time frame. You could use daily, 4 hour. You could use a 15-minute or 5-minute. I don't really care.
Minutes.
Yeah, it does not really matter. What matters is a higher time frame and a lower time frame. Okay? For this strategy, use 2 time frames.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So we have a 2 hour time frame. The last Neocloud signal was bearish. I have my drawing set to global. Let's draw the box. Okay. There's my Neocloud. We're going to go down to a lower time frame now. And we're going to trade this box. Since everyone loves lower time frame, I'll bring it down to the 5-minute. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning of the box. Okay.
Box.
This is where the higher time frame fired off.
What's in the box?
The bearish Neocloud. This is a very simple strategy. On a higher time frame, bearish Neocloud. On the lower time frame, only take the Neocloud bearish. Disregard the bull Neocloud.
The bull.
Use trade management. Not all of them are going to be winners, right? But if you use trade management, you're going to win. First trade, winner. Second trade.
Wiener.
What's your rule? Are you going to blindly take the Neo? Or are you going to wait for the candle coloring? I don't know. Let's just say this is a loser. Winner. Okay? Simple. Very simple. Let's go back to the higher time frame. Let's draw, look at this. On this 2-hour bullish Neo, we can honestly say this is choppy, right? All right, let's see what we got. Let's color this. We'll change that to green. Okay.
Greeny.
Let's go to a lower time frame. Only take green, well, blue Neocloud, bullish signals going up. Okay. With trade management, maybe with some other rules, not too shabby. Only look for bull Neocloud. Okay.
Not
That's
too
it.
shabby.
That's it. Right. Let's take a look at a different signal. Let's go to my favorite dollar.
But real quick, live on ES.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna flip back over to you in 2 seconds. We'll get what's happening. We're rejecting a very big fair value gap at this very moment, and the trend tracer. Right? Guess what? Guess what else? We are also rejecting the same lows as before. So if you want to gap, if you want to just take this low area here, almost fully inside of that, which is also if we were to just mark the middle of this fair value gap, boom, rejecting that as well. So pay attention. You could actually have a trade set up here. This is intriguing me to potentially take, if the Neo breaks to the downside, a trade. But there you go. See how it sets up. Mickey, take us away.
Oh, okay. All right. Dollar index. Another example, we'll just go down to a 1 hour, right? The higher time frame, it does not matter. Just use what, according to your style and risk tolerance. Here's a 1 hour. All right, let's draw the box around the latest one. All right, let's go down to a lower time frame. Here's a 5 minute. I don't know. Let's go to Jake. Let's go to 3 minute. Jacob's 3 minutes.
Hey,
I don't know what it shows like. I don't know.
Neo
right?
3 minute. They're just best friends.
There you go. Okay. Take your bull Neoclouds. Okay. You're just concentrating on one feature of an indicator. Higher time frame, you work down to a lower time frame. Just that one indicator. That is the start. That is the skeleton of your strategy, and you can build around that. All right. Let's try a different symbol. EU. Okay. EU in a 1 hour. Draw the box. Let's go down to a lower time frame. I don't know. What do you guys want to use? 3. Let's go to, I don't know. A popular one's 5 minutes. Look at that. If you follow the trend and on a lower time frame, you use that exact same indicator and you trade in that direction, you're going to be safe. You're not going to be wrecked. You're going to be safe. All right. UJ. We'll do UJ. Oh, this is going to be obvious winner. All right. Look at that.
Whoa. Yeah, I keep yawning, bro. It's driving me nuts. I've had my
This 1
caffeine.
hour.
Oh, I should have told my wife to get me an energy drink. You
need a
yours.
haircut. Did you get your haircut yet?
No, I haven't.
Let's do this experiment. Let's do a 15-minute for a higher time frame.
Could do something like this.
What do we got? Okay, let me take that.
There we go.
Let's draw some boxes.
I use my headset as a hairband.
Okay. We'll draw this box.
Get that dent. I got my hair's so long I get a dent from my headset.
Okay, let's go to the lower time frame. All right, we'll use 5 minutes. Because since we're at 15, we'll use a 5 minute. Look at that.
Well, fancy. I already lost the bet, and I have to grow a mullet, so I have to do that first. But then
So in a lower time frame, you take the bullish Neocloud, because on the higher time frame, it was bullish. You took this trade, you avoided this trade, and you took this trade. Right? On the 15-minute time frame, it was a bearish Neocloud. You only had one play. You took this one. That's it. Now you're waiting. Back over to you, Jacob. It's a very simple strategy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm just watching the same setup. Also, look at CL here. So this is where it can get a little weird. When you have a key support level and some choppiness, right? You can get a really tiny Neocloud. And I mean, just noticing the amount of turning points happening. So right now for CL, not really a setup. We want to see a thicker Neocloud form. So in this case, it would be the second lower high, more than likely, if that were to form. So we'll see if it does. But so far, it is still in a current state of possibility. Same with the NQ and the ES. What's nice about that is, we can go to our other chart as well. We can notice we are clearly rejecting some imbalance, which is good. So that could be a first step to a potential trade. I do like the support that got completely demolished today, that it's currently just touched and now continuing to sell off from that level. But what I've shown you guys on stream before with these indicators is actually we had a setup on my old strategy, and honestly it's not an old strategy, it still works pretty well. This is a 5 minute, of course, but notice price extended. We talk about this all the time. Where's my drawing thing? Or I did back before we've been doing this Neo challenge. But you get a 2 signal, right? Bearish signal today, breaks the smart trail broken. You get a extended, right? Extended turning point in the oversold area, but it just barely sold. So that is a good indication of, your first potential reversal. Goes up, we reject the smart trail, and then we get a turning point. In my opinion, this is where even, every once in a while, if I see this setup, I will also take a trade on with that turning point here on the oscillator, because everything's screaming short, right? 15 point stop there above the swing high. This is where I take longer trades. Go for a 2-to-1, more than likely. I cut off at 1-to-1, that I target 2-to-1. But you can see here, beautiful 2-to-1 trade for 30 points today on just those settings there. Like I said back in the day, the default king. Now it might be the Neo king if this sets up nicely. But no, Mickey's the OG Neo. I don't know. You got to come up with a name for yourself.
I don't know. Chicken sandwich?
Chicken sandwich. Good gosh. But yeah, again, Neo's breaking here. So, it makes sense, right? It's like more than likely just because there's an imbalance. This imbalance still has potential of rejecting, but for now, this thing pretty much set a double, triple bottom almost. Double bottom for sure. And is reversing. You don't really have a head and shoulders that formed. It's close. You never really had you didn't really have that head form, but double bottoms taking this into a small retracement. But we'll see. For some reason, we get a big sell off here. Neo does flip. We could, potentially see a setup, but we're gonna have to wait on that one. And you can see CL here is also coming back. Anyway, Caffeine. Use of caffeine at this time. 1 o'clock. We're reaching 2 hours. We'll probably go for about 2.5 hours. So maybe probably till 2:30. So it is currently 2:10. It's about 20 minutes or so, depending if there's like some setup. But we want to hear from you guys. What do you guys want to see again? We can go over some stuff. We can go over. We haven't looked at. Well, we have been looking at gold here.
I also need to go over my price action concept settings. I promised a member.
Okay.
So before we leave, I'll end on that.
For sure. I will say, guys, on gold, after the beautiful head and shoulders setup that we had, there is a potential for our strategy. 100%. This actually we would probably take live. Hold on. I set a price. Add alert. Boom. Had the Neo flip, of course. The only thing I don't like is that it would have to retest this low to fully get it. So I'm hoping this stair steps up a bit. Because notice here, stair step down, retest, went lower. It never retested a lower high, right? It just was here. Here, to break that Neocloud down here, as of now, the Neo more likely should step up here in a sec. It would have to retest this lower, higher low, which is not as good. You want to see a trend, right? You see a trend continuation. So price does actually come down and touch this, depending on how it does touch it. We'll see if it even generates a trade. But again, volume's starting to dip once again. But we'll see. Yeah, literally, it's just nonstop now. I'm probably gonna get a headache here soon because I need caffeine. I'm addicted. But honestly, who in the US of A isn't addicted to caffeine? If you're over the age of 25.
I love me some coffee.
Oh man, so good. Yeah, I mean, this is what it is, guys. Fancy Ashu said Monster Ultra all the way. Is that what you're drinking? Is it a Monster Ultra? Celsius.
Oh, what a good eye. Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty good. They're sugar-free as well. Yeah, Benji, I'm a Celsius person. I like Celsius and Alani's. I probably drink more Alani's. You see me drink Alani's on stream, but that's because the Kroger down the street, like,
I want my sponsorship right now, Monster.
There you go.
There you go.
Kroger down the street for me has had them for like 2 for $4. Actually, I'm pretty sure Celsius right now there is like 1 for $1.96, which is like the cheapest they've ever been. If they're ever at like $2.70 like they normally are, it's like I kind of try to avoid. Don't think they sell Celsius in the UK. Never seen one. Yeah, maybe not. Celsius, love it though. Peach Vibe is crazy. There's a lot of good flavors actually. My favorite Celsius, if I have one in the morning, is definitely just going to be the orange juice one. But yeah, I'm trying to think what they have in the UK. They might not have Alani either. Those are Alani and Celsius are really good. Yeah, UK definitely might just have Red Bull and Monster. Okay, so yeah, there's going to be no setup on ES. It's breaking out. There could potentially be a setup on, the old strat that I still like, but it just doesn't. So the reason why I like this Neocloud strat is it happens a lot more frequently. I like this other setup when it happens, so long as it it happens like maybe once or twice a week, which is good. It could be really good if it's bigger trades. But for me, I've noticed I do like sitting down each day, acting as if I'm like, working and, taking 1 or 2 trades. Like, it's a lot of fun to do that. And I'm a very impatient person. So but I understand that about myself. That's what I was trying to explain earlier. Don't fight who you are when it comes to the trading self. Like, understand it. If you do, then it's like, for me, I know I'm impatient, so I want to find a strategy that fits that impatience, gives me that satisfaction of being impatient. So like for this strategy, I get a few setups a day on different, assets I'm looking at, whether it's CL, gold, or NASDAQ or ES. I'll get 1 or 2 or 3 setups a day. And that's all I need to kind of fulfill that impatient feeling that I get. Now, the day that it doesn't happen, we'll see. It hasn't happened yet. So we'll see. But I definitely like taking trades each day. Is there any way to set up a step-based alert for the Neo strategy? Sadly, there is not. You can, because it's very visual, you can't. That's what I was saying early on. There's a love-hate about the strategy, and you can't. It wouldn't ever be anything you could automate because it's all a visual-based type trade. Because even think about it though, like you got to think about the way like an automation thing works. I personally think for automation, you have to swing. You have to do either long-term swingings or you have to do scalps within, like a very short time frame. Because that's the only way, or have something like where it's alert based. So like have like signals, right? And then if a signal occurs like this, then it trades it, right? But I can't tell. You can't tell an algorithm for the most part to once price breaks out, and it breaks below it, if it candle closes below it, you take the trade. The reason I'm saying it wouldn't work for this one is like, let me see if I can find an example. It's because it's going to be as precise as it wants to be, right? You could, I guess, say, hey, the candle has to close outside the Neocloud by a certain amount of ticks, pips, points, whatever you want to say. You could probably do that. But for like a generalized setup, I mean, you get it to break. That'd be, step 1 or step 2 would be break after the Neocloud breaks. Step, 3 before it takes entry, it has to close below it. But that's where, in my opinion, the whole thing would have to measure the Neocloud, and if you would have to somehow tell it, which I'm sure some crazy coder wizard could do it. But like this here, a close like that, I personally, when seeing that, wouldn't take it. I want to close like this. So you would have to figure out, probably with a lot of testing, what is the ideal amount of candles should close beneath the Neocloud. So that's where I'm like thinking, man, it would be cool to be able to set that up. But the Neo moves so much, as you can see, it stair steps, and the candles move in and out of it so differently that it would be very hard. You can see even here, there's like a little tiny dip. It'd be a lot different than just a simple like EMA cross or like the turning point occurring on the oscillator. Like things that are an actual specific point would be a lot harder to alert. So one reason I love and hate it, for sure, but it's just a little bit harder. Let's see. Can you check Lux algo signal and price action for Bank Nifty index for the Indian market? Okay. You guys ask this every day. We don't normally look over Bank Nifty, but since we're here, I will look over it once for about 5 minutes for you guys, for the people that have been asking for a very long time. Big reason why we don't necessarily like looking at it is how long is the Nifty open each day? It's very limited, right?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Yeah, Scott, we can go over that here in just a second. But check Lux cycle signal price. Do you have a specific time frame? For now, I'm going to just do the 4-hour. Nifty, look, got a 3 signal, went up, rejected, right? Lower high, set. But even better, look at what it did originally. Came up, price tested this upper order block, hammered that, and then completely dumped. So this is kind of following similar to the U.S. markets now. We're currently in a, let's go to the daily order block, see if it's the same. We're definitely in a 4-hour. All right, yeah. Currently in a 4-hour order block. A lot of selling going on. Very oversold at the moment. So what you're going to want to see is price come out of this 4-hour order block at around 42,400. If price comes out of 42,400, you might end up having a nice little retracement. maybe back to like 43,000 or something. So see if it breaks out of 42,400 at the moment. If we look at a smaller time frame, like a 15-minute, massive downtrend. So 3 signal. I love seeing 3 signals. Like I said, these are my favorite. 3 signal comes up, rejects fair value gap, rejects a smart trail, and then just continues lower. 2, anytime you get a signal in a smart trail like this, if it's bearish, red candles, exit signal for me. 2, exit, reject another fair value gap there. Another 3 signal, dropped once again. So you're in that 3 signal, still extremely bearish on a 15-minute chart, but going back to the 4-hour, you're inside that 4-hour order block, so you're going to want to wait to see what it does, whether it exits to the upside or the downside. So for now, just see how it gets out of here. But I would say you're getting close to a little bit of a level that you can kind of chill and not just worry about it going lower for now. But doesn't mean after a day or two it won't go lower. So we'll see. Scotty asked, my best friend's name is Scott, actually. What is your daily bread and butter setup? Now, as of now, like I said, I mostly have been doing the Neocloud setup because it's done so well for us. We're up. Go over this again. Right now on our funded on our challenge account, we're up to $2,200. Our target to be funded is $3K. So potentially tomorrow or Monday, we might hit that funded state. I really want to try to get it tomorrow. We're going to see. I don't want to size up, though. So like, hopefully we just get enough setups. So we've been just testing this for a while. But that is based on the Neo. Also, the Neo rejected here nicely on CL 3-minute. Normally, though, for me, there's a few things that I would normally trade, and also 5-minute guys were getting this similar setup on this set. We did say that we liked the 5-minute. I think me and Luke agree that 5-minute might be better on this strategy because price tends to move twice as aggressively on ES and NQ than it does on gold and volatility wise. On gold futures, by the way, not a gold pair. Gold pair can tend to spike every once in a while, but gold futures and CL, so long as you're following news in like the nat gas and stuff. But hold on, I'm reading this. Is there any strategy in Lux Algo for automated trading? Like we can set alerts, and when the alert pops up, we can trade without looking at the charts all day. You can do that pretty soon. If you did get the backtesting system with the lifetime membership back a year or so ago, you can do that within a backtesting system very soon. And I don't know if I should be saying this, but I mean, I'm pretty close with the owner, but I mean, I'll hint it. I don't think it's a problem that I'm saying it, but we are bringing back the backtesting system for people. So be prepared for that. Backtesting system is coming back. You can create an automated strategy within the backtesting system yourself. So that comes down to your parameters. You have to come up with that strategy. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, here's the strategy. You go in there, you figure out what works, doing back tests, do the work, because then it pays off. You don't just give somebody it and then it's going to pay off for them. I mean, that's just how I am personally. But there will be an opportunity where you can get the back testing system for all 3 of the premium indicators and make a strategy and back test it. And then if you wanted to link it to an API or however, you just have to figure that out yourself. But there is a potential for that being a thing coming soon. Obviously, the biggest holiday coming up is Black Friday, so look for it around then for sales-wise. But yeah, there's always, I firmly believe there is a way, right? Obviously, there's algos already out there trading, right? And so, like, I think, if you give it the right parameters, it understands what goes on. It understands how price moves based on your own analysis, and you can code it to do that. Then 100%, I think there is a way. It's just figuring that out. And I'm currently also working on a way to do that as well. It's just everybody's dream, right? So making the impossible possible. So it's obviously people have it. Banks have it. Market makers have automated systems that automatically collect and trade the liquidity they need to move price. So there is definitely a potential for that being a thing on a smaller scale. Can you explain slippage? Do you to everyone else or you? No, we're not working on an AI trading bot that trades for you. All of our indicators are based around to make you a more profitable trader. We firmly believe the most profitable you're going to be is trading yourself, not just a bot trading, because you can understand and adapt to the market a lot better. Now, you then have to figure out yourself and your own trading personality to get to that point. You can see most of the people that are successful in trading nowadays, if it's not a bank, it's not somebody that's moving liquidity, because they need the algorithms to move liquidity. They don't just they're trading themselves. If you want to be truly a successful trader, you have to do it yourself. On a smaller scale, maybe there's a potential of creating something like that, but again, it's if you really want to fast track it and you want to know what works, we know for a fact that trading yourself works. Right. Well, I understand. I mean, slippage, it can depend on what broker you have too. Slippage it happens with everybody. For slippage on a trading bot, that's why you want to use something like NinjaTrader or Quant Tower, because they're brokers within themselves. They're getting data straight from the exchange, and they can also trade strategies. So if you're using Quant Tower or NinjaTrader or anybody that has like a in-house automated system, and you train it to trade, then it can get ideal fills. It doesn't have to worry about slippage with an alert, from TradingView that goes into whatever. So there is a way, if you want to do, you necessarily don't have to worry about slippage until you're on some extreme scale, in my opinion. You're not going to get much slippage on a smaller scale, or not have to worry about a bunch of slippage on a smaller scale, because you're not trading enough lots to move price very much. Now, when you start getting into the 100 to 200 lots, depending on what asset you're trading, obviously gold and CL is going to be a little bit different. It's going to, obviously, the higher you get on that, it's going to move price a little more aggressively, but on like ES and NQ, you got to get pretty up there to really affect which way the direction is going to go. So you can, if you want to really see what it takes to move, to really make your own candle or move price, if you can pull up order flow, if you've ever watched order flow on Bookmap, you can get it for free on Trade or Thinkorswim. Wait around till you see 500 to 1,000 lot buyers or sellers, and you'll see what happens. It's pretty intense. They just, price jumps. You get probably a 3 or 4 tick slip on that, or sorry, point, not tick, 3 or 4 tick slip on when the market makers are moving their liquidity. It's pretty big. But yeah, I mean, if you're just a small time trader, it's not necessarily anything to super worry about, in my opinion. But a lot of fun things. We're constantly here at Lux Algo. No, but for real, we're constantly here working on the next thing. So there's a lot of things that, around the trading world that we've looked into, and everything that about in the trading world, we definitely have looked into and are working to create and adapt our indicators to give you the most, the best tools to develop, an easy to learn trading strategy. We just want to make it easy for you, right? And that's what we're trying to do. Like I said here, the reason why I was so turned on to Luxout early on, because I was a customer before I even came on, but this was right when they started. Right when they started, I, early on I was like, this is pretty awesome. Came in and it showed me what it takes for me to become a profitable trader. And that's like taking everything step by step, having those steps to follow. And and I'm a visual person. So with Luxalgo, very visual based indicators, right? So this thing with the Neocloud, like I said, I have 3 visual things that have to happen for me to take a trade. And so long as I stick to that, I know that so far, 5 days green. We've been green 5 days in a row. And that's why I love Luxalgo. So once you find that strategy, you dive into your settings, you figure out what works the best for you, then you have it. You have to only worry about that. You can set up alerts for a lot of the strategies. But yeah, man, it's just insane to be a part of something like this, because it's just game changing for anybody that's understanding how to find a strategy around, whether it's price action or trend following like the signals and overlays, or the oscillator, whatever works for you, because all of these adapt to you and your personal trading style. So would suggest just looking through those settings. I mean, while we're chilling, let's see here.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby, my friend. Sorry, I'm looking at some messages. He said, not a question, but loving Mickey's 4-hour fib retracement strategy. There you go. That's why we always say, like incorporate other things like Fibonacci retracement, like things that have been around forever. You can incorporate with our indicators, right? So like let's dive in. Why don't we mess around a little bit here? I think Fibonacci is, it's everywhere, right? It's in nature. It's in trading. It's in honestly probably our bloodstream, like at this point. But it's just using stuff like that we've known in the past that works, and people trade. The other thing is, like, what do people trade, right? How do they trade it? Can really help on identifying potential strategies as well. It's like, in my opinion, NQ and ES Neo bullish. All right, it's flipping. Let me see here. So the micro is a little bit behind. Let me just pull up normal ES. Yeah, never mind. They're the same. It's just very small right now. So here you go. I do like this a little bit better. There could be a potential. I don't want to be on too much longer. So we're not going to be here till close today like we normally are, just because we started earlier. But let's take a dive into how we might go about a strategy, right? For one, what I'm discovering 100% is that I really like the Neocloud to help with strategies. I've just looking over it more and more. I've loved it. So in this case, let's kind of think about, what could we utilize in our price action concepts in the oscillator matrix that could help us discover, a good strategy. I'm gonna pull up. Let me just reset these to default, and then have that up. Okay, I'm gonna put these on the chart. Or blocks. I do. I normally do. In that case for this specific strategy, I just don't. The only reason I don't have it up because I'm just looking at the turning points for the Neocloud strategy. I normally have the money flow up. It's just for that Neo one. Anyway, so we know the Neocloud can be really good for identifying trends, right? So one of my favorite things is, like you just mentioned, is the money flow, is ways that we can use the money flow alongside the turning points for our so-called entries. So in this case, what we talked about before, one of my favorite things for sure is that structure change and the turning points on the oscillator. So in this case, for a trend continuation, what you could look for is, for one, price to extend, right? Price extends to the downside. Probably breaks a low, sweeps a low, right? But then after that, noticing that the money flow is changing and money flow has aggressively moved. So that is another thing that I've been looking at too, is notice what happens when the money flow early on breaks the threshold. Notice never broke late and was weak. Didn't break that early. This one broke early, right? Broke earlier, right? This one didn't break that early. This one broke super early here. Look what happened when that one broke early there. Boom. It had a huge downtrend move. So that is something that I do like looking at on the money flow side. So noticing that, maybe that's what we look for in a higher time frame trade. How early does that money flow break? Well, money flow broke early here and we extend to the downside. And we get a full retracement, right, into a Neocloud. On this turning point, if the oscillator is sitting at 50 and it's already extended one time, a lot of the times this wants to make one more leg down. This is the first time it's made a full leg into that oversold area, right? So if anytime divergence occurs, you can pre-visit divergence. You can what's it called? I can predict. I'm just saying the word pre. All I have to say is predict. I can predict when a divergence might be setting up. Doing this is because a lot of times if price extends this much, more than likely it's going to probably end up printing a divergence. But what has to happen on a divergence? Divergence, price has to go lower, but an oscillator or some other aspect, some other indicator has to show that it's changing directions. So you can see a divergence line was already occurring here, right? But if I were to take that into account of how extended price was on this level here, and I waited for a trend potential continuation setup, then what I could do is I wait for a turning point in the oscillator and like a reject of the Neocloud the very first time it retests it. So then I know, okay, this is probably, because it's already extended this much, probably going to set up a divergence. In order for a divergence to occur, we have to set a new low, right? And that's what you got here, a new low. So taking a trade off this, all I can think of is here comes a new low, right? And that's what you would have gotten there. If we talk about the new high here as well, look, there's really, in my opinion, look at how much room for the upside this has to go to get to 100%. There's still a lot of room up there, right? Notice the difference on the downside of the oscillator. There's not much room here. This hits below 10. Does this hit above 90? It doesn't. So maybe I'm looking for things above 90 and then then it sets a higher low for an actual setup. So let's take a look here. This here sets up above 90, right? In order for it to set up divergence, it has to continue higher. Well, off of this very small example, it does continue higher and then has that leg down. In the last step, in the last trade, we said we want to see it retest the Neo. That never happened before it set divergence. So we wouldn't be taking that. We go back into this now. Let's see on the downside here. Here you go. We get the exact same setup, right? Neocloud flips. And this is what you need to go look at. You need to just put the indicators on your chart, start looking at specific things. You'll start discovering things. Look, Neo down here hits below 10, right? Super extended. If we want divergence to set up, right, we need to set a higher low, but it has to set a higher low on the oscillator, it has to set a lower low on price. So we know that if it were to come back down in here, it's going to set a higher low, but price is going to go lower. So what do we look for? We look for a Neocloud test. We got it here. A Neocloud reject. We got it here. We could have taken a short here with a stop above this, and then waited until it extended again, which you got right here. So the extension happened all the way down here. So you would have had it, been a longer term trade, but it's a swing. I am enjoying the shabbiness. So there you go. You're pretty much predicting that divergence. Right. So let's look at it on an upside opportunity. Okay. Like this. Well, let's see here. This one, we had some Neocloud retests here. Price extended here, a little late to even come back. So we wouldn't have counted any of that. You're looking for proper swing points. Here you go. Price here touches 95. Remember we said around 90, right? Neo doesn't touch. But what I'm noticing now as I'm going through this strategy is maybe we don't even need the Neocloud, right? Let's just take the Neocloud off.
Don't say that.
Well, this is what I'm trying to tell them, that you don't necessarily need every indicator to while you're going through those, and looking at trade opportunities. Maybe I don't need the Neo now. Maybe I see, okay, all I need is the value of the oscillator to go above 96 here, right? Or go above 90 here, and then retrace back to the 50 level. And then I understand, okay, if you get a turning point here, we might get a continuation for a divergence setup. So I'm just going to trade up until that divergence setup. So I take a trade on this turning point right here, exit on the following turning point or the following high, right? Which would have been right here on this little guy. So even that candle there would have been a 40-point trade on the 4 hour. So this could be a potential swing strategy. But again, it's noticing how extended does price actually get. But there you go. Here you go. He said, don't talk about the Neocloud, or don't get rid of the Neo. Well, here's the case. We said earlier that this now didn't look good, but honestly, it kind of does, because if you think about it, we're above 90 again. Here, still above 90, right? We need that retracement, right? We wait till we get that full retracement into the Neo if we were to play that Neocloud, right? We get the Neocloud. We get a turning point here, all right? Get that turning point there. We see that money flow is decreasing. So you know what? Because it's extended, we probably want to wait for a higher low and see if the Neocloud holds. Neocloud holds here, gets another turning point here. You could take an entry here, set your stop, below there, and then you target it extending again, which would be up here. So there, once again, you have another swing, opportunity that you could have taken off of just that, and that was a lovely 2-to-1. So I mean, then you continue to go back and retest. Here you go. This is something that was without the Neocloud. Price extended, right? We're looking, divergence hasn't occurred yet on this oscillator. So this is above 96. Waited for this turning point, you got it, and then this one actually would have broke even because that turning point occurred. I thought it occurred on this candle, but it occurred on the other one. So obviously nothing with any strategy is 100%, but this is why you do this. You go back in time. But look here, you would have exited here. That was still early though. You would have break even trade. That's okay. If losers are break even, we'll take that all day. We'll take that all day. But let's look again. Why would we see this guy didn't break above 90? So again, I mean, it's just, that's what you need to do to find your strategy. This is on a 4-hour chart. Can you please keep indicator name visible on the chart instead of hiding? Sometimes it's possible. Oh yeah, I got you. I'm sorry. I just have a ton up. So I'm using the signals and overlays in the price action concepts. You know what? Because we're on that topic right now, I'm also just for a brief second going to pull over our web browser here and gonna say that the indicators and strategies we went over today are part of our premium toolkit. So right now you actually can get 30 days risk-free, and you can, when you sign up, even with the 30 days risk-free, hang out with us in the VIP section where we're constantly trading these strategies together. Today I probably sent too many messages that people probably got annoyed with me, but I'm in there. I'm now finally talking in there, and Mickey's always in there to answer questions. You can also message me as well if you have any questions about certain things. I'm happy to answer them. If I don't answer them, it's probably because I haven't checked my message request, so I actually will do that today. I just remembered to do that. Did Nat Gas play out, or is it breaking down? We'll look at it in a sec. But again, you can get 30 days risk-free. The link is in the description of this video. And I forgot, if you guys do like the live stream, please like and subscribe to this channel, because we will be doing this a lot more. And obviously we're doing it a lot more now. But the other thing is, we have free indicators you can check out too. Just go to the library section on the LuxAlgo website, and you can see all the free indicators that we offer. We're releasing new ones every week. Like we released one yesterday. So you can see here, October 25th. This is the Super Trend Polyfactor Oscillator. Some crazy concepts we come out with. Like recently, people got really excited about the liquidation level ones. So we're constantly releasing new free indicators for you guys. But also, if there's anything specific you want as an indicator that you've been looking for, you can go on here and you can even search that. You can say, I need liquidity, or I need, fair value gaps, or, trailing stops, or you even click the categories here. You can click Fibonacci. Very popular. One of my favorite newest ones is the Fibonacci ranges and the trailing stop. Both two of my favorite recent ones we've released. It automatically plots those Fibonacci levels for you on there. But yeah, make sure to check that out. All the links are in the description of this video. And if you do have questions about certain aspects of the premium indicators, you can go to the resources and guides section on the website, and you will get full in-depth information on every feature and how to use them, etc. And when the backtest system's back, that has it on here as well. So be prepared for that. Discord link is in the documentation too. So let's go. And what happened? Nat Gas had your setup and you missed it? Nat Gas have your setup and you missed it there?
No, I've been watching it all day. No, that's good.
All right. Let me see here. Let's go to the charts now. Right back to it. But yeah, that's just something that we go about, when looking at potential trade setups, right? So just part of it. I'll look right back over, all these charts here and see. Nat Gas, man, from the initial entry was just insane. But let's see. We've been going for, let's see how long now. And we'll be back 2 hours, 35 minutes. I think it's probably a good place. What do you think, Mickey, to probably call it?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Tomorrow, I don't think I can stream tomorrow. I'll let you know. I mean, if Mickey, you want to stream tomorrow, we can. Possibly. I have to figure out if I can or not.
Yeah, just let me know. Yeah.
Do you guys, if you guys want us to stream tomorrow, we can too. Just let us know. But I have to check my schedule and see if I'm not doing anything during the day, which I don't think I am, but I do have some videos to work on. But thank you, Jack. Yeah, appreciate everybody that has joined. Once again, if you've been in and out of the chat, we appreciate you talking. Obviously, we like talking to you guys. We want to make sure we're answering all your questions and going over anything that you want to learn about. But tomorrow, one more time, I should just stayed on this page. Tomorrow, remember, news, right? We got earnings after hours today. Amazon, remember, we said that gap down and then possible bought back up after it gaps down. We'll see, though. It is kind of low today. Tomorrow, pre-market, right? We have the PCE index. We have the core PCE coming out at 8:30. And then we have, I think that's it. We have some Fed chairman speaking. But overall, PCE pretty what's it called? Pretty important. I'm getting kind of tired now too. I need to get my caffeine. So I'm going to go get some caffeine. You guys have a good rest of your day. I know what's his name was vibing to the music. Hopefully you do like the music. But we will be back once again, like always. Oh yeah, Mickey. Did you want to go over your PIC settings really quick for Jordan?
Yeah. I don't know about pretty quick though.
I mean, what would be easier for you, Jordan? Because I mean, is it easier for you to send them to him, or we could get on stream tomorrow and go over them?
Yeah, we'll go on the next stream. Yeah, it's just gonna be another exercise.
All right, we'll have a special stream just for going over those settings for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, either Friday or Monday, no big deal, you know. And I can help out over the weekend in chat, you know.
Yeah. DM him too if you need some want to know now, he could probably send you some stuff. But yeah, I think it's a good place to call it. Let me see here. Where's my music? You play. I can't hear it.
Let's get the mosh pit music going.
I know why. Hold on. Ready? There we go. Bring it back. My button. I had it on mute. Okay, guys, my name is Jacob. This is the Luxago live stream, and you are here with Mickey as well. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We love doing this with you guys. Love hanging out and getting to know our community. And I'm praying, guys, tomorrow might be the day we might finally be funded. Let's hopefully get funded, and then I can buy Mickey his very first chicken dinner. Maybe we'll do some chicken sandwich review. He'll just eat it on stream, Mickey. You want to eat your chicken sandwich on stream?
Oh, I'll eat it on stream, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. We'll have some chicken sandwiches on stream. We'll just celebrate passing the funded challenge using the Neocloud strategy with some chicken sandwiches, all right? We'll document the whole thing. I'm going to have Mickey go to wherever he wants to get that chicken sandwich and make sure he records it so we can make a fun video about it or something. But as my whole desk starts shaking and I start shaking, we're going to call it a day here, guys. And hopefully you have a good rest of the week. And, of course, remember tonight, Thursday Night Football on Prime TV. Okay, no. Only if we were sponsored by Amazon Prime. So Amazon Prime, if you are listening, we would love to be sponsored by you, for sure. But I don't even know who's playing tonight. We got, Lions tonight? Somebody else? But, yeah, good place. All right, guys, have a good rest of your weekend. Happy Thursday and Friday tomorrow, and good luck. See you soon. Peace.
Have a good one.